Morning plant medicine for some true omnivores. That's Biggie, black and white, Cosmo, brown and white. They're my baby boys. Biggie's 9 and Cosmo's almost 2. So beautiful. On the morning walk. There's the house I live in down there. I can't see it because the sun's in my eyes. I don't know if it shows up in the video. But this is the little trail I walk on in the mornings with the dogs. And you can see it's a beautiful day today. January 14th, 2022 is a Friday. Yeah. Maybe I'll just go ahead and make a video and talk about what I think it's going to take to really shift the paradigm 100%, 180 degrees we want, and that's to bring back the divine feminine. So, what does that mean? It doesn't mean women's lib. It means the female needs to be revered as she once was. Mother Nature created all of this. We have to revere the mother. The mother is the portal into this reality. So, the way women are treated in today's world is way off, and that's reflected in the way kids are brought up. I don't think anybody will say that that's happening the way it should, because then when all these kids become trauma-ridden, trauma-based mind control, really, adults, and then most of us, when we're adults, we have all kinds of issues, and we don't know why. And I guess if we're fortunate enough, we figure it out. Especially in today's world with the internet, it's helped so many people. There's so much good. And everything that people criticize, there's always a good to it. Even in what we're going through now. I mean, look how many people are waking up to the evils of the pharmaceutical industry and allopathic medicine because of what we're going through now. So, but getting back to the divine feminine, the way the kids are everything. And whenever a child is brought into this realm, then everything needs to be done to make sure that child develops properly, with the proper virtues, and the proper ability to know how magical they are, and to how to use that magic, and live in a caring, compassionate environment, all centered on building this child up to the best that they can be, and not just having a kid when it's 6 weeks old, putting it in daycare, and going back to work. Also, you can have your big house and your 2 cars and your vacations, and your kid can have all the latest things, so it won't be jealous of what the other kids have. That's not what's valuable. We have to get back to nature with everything. And that includes family. And that's what the mother is supposed to be doing. Keeping the hearth, the home, and if there are children, making sure they're raised properly, and living in communities where everyone helps, that you can trust. So if you do have to leave your child, which you shouldn't do very often, until they're at least 7 years old, because that's when all the programming get set by age 7. As you know, the saying from the Jesuits, give us your kid till they're, your child till they're, the boy till they're 7, and we'll show you the man. So it's crucial. And right now, children are just being discarded and treated like they're some kind of burden. So that has to change. And that all goes into bringing back the divine feminine. Women need to be revered. You know, the women should decide when there's sex in the relationship. They're not there to please the man. That's another thing that we're taught, or programmed, I should say, indoctrinated with. And of course, sex should be sacred. And men need to learn how to raise their chrism oil and not ejaculate all over everything, especially beautiful women. I mean, it's a disgrace. It's disgusting. And then you got the porn industry, where pretty much everyone there is a victim. So that industry, if you support it at all, you're supporting heinous crimes to children. So all this needs to be, dealt with, and it all goes back to revering women, putting them where they're supposed to be, and knowing, they're womb man. They're the portal to this reality, to this realm, to this earth plane. And we have to start treating women that way. And we have to start raising our kids with the proper due diligence, teaching them the virtues, letting them own their magic. You know, when kids tell their parents they have an imaginary friend, their parents rebuke them for them and tell them, don't say anything to anyone. Even if the parents do buy it, which most of them don't, but then they tell them about Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy. And what is that teaching the children? Oh, deceiving is fine. My parents deceived me about Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy. So it's okay. Lying's okay. And all the shows I watch and even the cartoons, they all say sex is good. Even the shows for kids, Nickelodeon or whatever. We know all about the Hollywood industry and pedophilia. So yeah, we have to program our kids. Because if we don't, the system will. And the schools, if you have a child, for one thing, you need to make sure, for priority, that the mother can stay home with the child till it's 7 years old. And if there's no one to trust, then she's with the child 24/7 for 7 years. Because it's crucial that no negative programming gets put into that child. And all it takes is one person to do something, and that's that. Then there's the trauma. And if it goes missed early on, it'll end up causing trouble later in life, like most of us know as we've been through it. Those of us who have learned about it, a lot of us don't even know what trauma we've had. Or we haven't figured anything out. We don't even know we're miserable. I knew I was depressed, but I didn't know how miserable I was till I overcame it. But kids are so important. They're so important. And we have to do these things. So first you have to stay home with your kids. The mom needs to stay home, not the dad, the mom. The dad goes out and provides. If there's some kind of situation, maybe the reverse is okay, but that's the mothers. We all have a place in nature. All the animals do, and we do too. And the females have their place, I know this doesn't go with the whole agenda they're pushing, the LSTUV or whatever. I missed that one off because I don't even want to think about it. But we have to get back in our roles and get these children raised properly and make sure they're not. Another thing that happens if you send them to school, besides the indoctrination. I haven't brought that one up yet. So you have to also be willing to homeschool your kids, or start little schools with people that are of the same mindset as you, but you have to really watch that too. So, especially again, until your kid's 7 years old. So you also have to watch that. You have to homeschool your kids. That's another sacrifice you would have to make. But if you're home with the kid, if the mom's home with the child, I call them kids, I probably shouldn't. If the mom's home with the child, then the homeschooling thing is no big deal because the mom's there anyway. And there's plenty of resources these days. More and more people are homeschooling. So that's not really an issue anymore. And people have been doing it for decades. Oh, that's one of the dogs saying it found a rabbit. So, and then of course you might have to scale down your lifestyle in order to have it where the mother can stay home. So you might have to sell your big 2-story house and only have one vehicle or no vehicles and whatever it takes. But if you're going to have a child, it's a sacrifice until you go, probably, because hopefully you'll go before your child and you'll always be there for that child. So those are things to keep in mind before you have children. And the way we're so programmed today from all our media, you know, sex is the priority. People want to jump into sex right away. They have apps to meet up just for sex. You have the porn industry. You have all the strip clubs. It's also socially acceptable, just like alcohol is, because, you know, everybody does it, so what? But, you know, it's not cool. It's not cool. And until those types of things change, along with many others, then we're going to be stuck with this paradigm. So that's just one other area to consider when you're thinking about the paradigm shifting and what you want it to be. Well, thanks for listening, and I'll leave with that pretty shot of the mountain over there. Isn't it cool how it has the cloud over it like that sometimes? That's the mountain where you get Monchique mineral drinking water that's alkaline and delicious. So right there, we actually go get our drinking water there. It's a 10-minute drive. All right, so y'all have a beautiful day, beautiful evening, beautiful sleep wherever you are at this time. And I hope you subscribe to this channel, and I hope you like this video, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you. Ciao, ciao.